Hello guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Qlaryce. I'm a recording musical artist, and on this video I'll be sharing with you all the foods I cooked in one day for my entire week's breakfast menu. Let's get right into it. So here they are, all the ingredients. We have peas, coriander, cassava, nduma, onions, tomatoes, maize, carrots, red bell pepper, green bell pepper, potatoes, and black beans. Now we begin by washing the black beans, and we wash them very well. I usually wash at least twice before I soak it. So here is me soaking it. This is hot water. I'll soak it for about 3 hours before I begin cooking. So while that gets soaked, I will be washing the maize. So with the maize, I'll also wash twice. It usually has certain husks that are not to be used, so I'll use water to remove those ones. Yeah, and so I will try and wash little by little so that I wash them very well. Yeah, I'll wash them like that. I'll wash that little by little until I'll be done washing each and every one. And then after this, I'll move to the next thing that I'm supposed to wash, that is the peas. I'll be washing peas. The peas, I'll use the peas to cook the Githeri and then samosas. So I'll be washing the peas little as well, and then after washing the peas little by little, here I am soaking them in hot water. This is also hot water that I'm soaking both of these grains with, covering that up and letting it soak for the period of time as the black beans. Now we go on to the next one. This is nduma. I usually love nduma for breakfast. This is me preparing it, removing those spots and then washing it very well to remove any dust, and then I'll be cutting it. If it's just boiling, I would have just cut these pieces and boiled those ones, but since I'll be frying them, I cut them into several smaller pieces. Then I move on to the cassava. Now I'm peeling that as well, and then after successfully peeling that, the next stage, of course, will be washing the cassava, washing until it's clean, and then I'll be dividing this into smaller pieces as well because I want to fry it and I don't want it to cook very fast. So sometimes the cassavas are hard, so I need that to help me cut them into pieces. And then I go next to the potatoes. I peel the potatoes so well and then wash them so well too. For the potatoes, I'll use this to cook Githeri and the samosas. So I will leave like 3 huge pieces for the Githeri, but the small ones are for the samosas. So for the samosas, I'm gonna divide those into very small ones. But you see the 3 pieces over there, those ones are for the Githeri. I won't be cutting those ones. So after cutting this, I'm gonna leave them in some water. I'll wash them and then leave them in some water. And then move to the other ingredients, the onions. I'll be cutting so many onions because the goal is to cook everything together and then divide the broth later. So here I am, I'll be washing the tomatoes, the bell peppers, and the carrots one by one, and then peeling the carrots. After peeling the carrots very well, I will be cutting each and every carrot, each and every tomato, and all the bell peppers. Here is the coriander. I'll wash this as well. I'm washing it as well, very well. And then after washing this very well to remove any dirt, I begin cutting the rest of the ingredients. Here I am cutting the tomatoes. I'll cut the tomatoes, all of them, and then cut this into tiny bits. I was lucky, I got very well ripened tomatoes. And then I move on to the carrots. Cut this into tiny bits as well. Put that aside. Then I go to the red bell pepper and cut this very well also. Cut that into small pieces as well in readiness for the cooking. And then the green bell pepper, I'll be cutting this into tiny bits as well, and in readiness for the rest of the cooking. And then after getting that ready, I move next to the coriander. I'll be cutting the coriander into tiny bits as well. Then I begin by frying the onions. There's my oil, it's already heated up, so I'm gonna fry all the onions. The goal is to fry them until they are golden brown before adding any of the other ingredients. So we go on frying this, we go on frying that. There they are already. As everything else is ready now, I move on to the next thing, which is kneading the samosa dough. Yeah, so for this you're going to need 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 100 ml water. So you're gonna add some salt in there and some cooking oil, and then you're going to knead. We are trying to achieve a firm but elastic dough. So we are going to knead that for a while. Knead. This is for the samosa pockets. We are going to knead that very well. Then we're going to add some oil to make it soft. So we will have a soft, elastic, and firm dough for the samosa pocket. Yeah, we need that very well, that we have the best of samosa pockets. After kneading that so well, we are going to begin kneading on the surface. We are going to knead it on the surface for a while. Yeah, just like that. You knead it like that on the surface, so that each and every so that we achieve a very soft dough. Yeah, after that we are going to put it in the bowl, cover it with a kitchen towel, and set it aside for future use. Then my onions are getting fried very well. Once they're ready, they're golden brown. I usually like to use extra oil so that they don't get burnt. Now I'm draining that extra oil and just leaving in the oil that I will need for my cooking. After that, I'm gonna add tomatoes onto the onions. Wow, those tomatoes look so juicy. I love them. Yeah, after that, this is gonna cook for a while before we add the carrots. Now, after adding the carrots, we're going to mix everything well together and continue cooking this medium heat and making sure that everything does not get burnt. Then we're going to add the seasoning. I used Royco cubes seasoning, and then I also added a little black pepper followed by some paprika. Mix that all together. As you can see, that broth is juicy. Oh, it was very tasty. And then we cover that up so that it can cook for a while to form a very rich broth. As we continue cooking that, we want to divide that into several pots, one for the nduma, and then the other pot for the cassava. And then we are going to divide the broth into two more pots, one for the Githeri and the other one for the samosa piece. Now this one we are frying the nduma on the one of the broths that we have gotten. Now we fry that very well. Fry it on medium heat, making sure it doesn't get burnt. Then we're going to add some salt onto that. And then we continue frying. Then we add water, just to make sure to add water 2 inches above the nduma. If you will be cooking these recipes. And then after doing that, we are going to cover that and let it cook for a while. Yep. Yeah, let it cook. After it's cooked, you put it that aside. Then you continue cooking it on the other fire. And then now we head on to the cassava. Cooking cassava. We're frying it. Same procedure as the nduma. After frying it, we're going to add, I added oregano. Yes, some mixed herbs, oregano and some mixed herbs, and then I added some salt onto it. Oh, it was very delicious. Yeah, so you continue frying that, and then after frying it well enough, we are going to add water 2 inches above the cassava. Depends on the type of cassava you're cooking. Mine was soft, so I did not use a lot of water for it. But if your cassava is hard, you're gonna need much more water. Then you're gonna keep that cooking on the other side. Then this is the beans, the njahe beans has cooked. Now we cook the maize neck. Yeah, so here we are adding the red bell pepper, the green bell pepper, and the coriander to the nduma. You're gonna allow that to cook for a while. Then that will be cooked just like that. Cover it and set it aside. That is very ready. If it's fork tender, it's ready. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to cook the piece, because the maize is also ready. That's my pressure cooker right there. The maize and the beans and the njahe beans are ready. Now we head on to cooking the piece on the pressure cooker. Now as you can see, that's the cassava there. I added salt onto the cassava, covered it up. Yeah, that's more salt because I tasted it and realized the salt isn't enough. Now we head on to the piece. Now we are dividing our broth into the one for the piece and the one for the githeri. Now we are frying the potatoes for the samosa. Yeah, we're frying the potatoes for the samosas. After frying these, we are going to add some salt onto it. After adding that salt, we are continuing to mix that very well. After that, we are going to use the peace water to help it cook. We're going to use the peace water as soup to cook it, cover it, and cook it on the pressure cooker so that it cooks faster. Here we add the cassava. We are adding red pepper, green bell pepper, and some coriander. Yeah, after that we cover that, let it cook for a while, and then it will just be ready. After it's ready, we set it aside. You can test if it's pop tender to know that it's ready. Yeah, that the next thing now we're going to cook is Githeri. In the meantime, we are going to fry the beans and the maize. We're going to add that onto the broth and the potatoes. Mix that very well. Mix it very well. After mixing that very well, frying that on medium-low heat, we're going to add some soup from the beans so that we can have a rich broth. For that for a while, add some salt onto that. Yeah, like that. Mix that very well. Now the soup is a little dark because of the beans I used, the jahe. Now onto this, for the samosa, we are going to add the peas. The peas, remember, it was already cooked. So we are going to add that and mix that. And since it's for the samosa, we are going to mash the potatoes a little bit, but do not smash them all the way. Be sure to leave some of the potatoes smashed. Do not smash them completely. I'm going to show you. You'll continue smashing, but if you are to cook the peas, the samosa that has the peas and the potatoes, we're going to smash the potatoes and make sure to leave some unsmashed. Okay, let's add the red bell pepper and the coriander onto that and mix that. As you can see, see that you're going to leave some potato pieces not smashed all the way. After this, the next step is to try and reduce the moisture, because when you put them on the pockets, they're supposed to be moistureless. So to help us reduce the moisture, we are going to evaporate the moisture using a pan. So we are going to do that as the moisture evaporates. We continue doing that. Be sure to use medium-low heat so that they do not get burnt. Continue evaporating the moisture like that. Yeah, so that one, I'm adding the peas onto the Githeri. After doing that, okay, so here I am. You see, as soon as you see it start sticking on the bottom of the pot like that, then it means that we need to remove it from the fire, because the moisture that we needed to evaporate is already evaporated. Then there I am adding the green bell pepper, red, and the coriander onto the Githeri, mixing it very well and allowing it to cook, covering that up. And then for it to cook very well, I like my Githeri with some broth. If you do not like your Githeri with some broth, you do not need to add the broth, but I added onto mine. Now, after evaporating all the water on the samosa paste, now here I am. We are going to lay it on the sinia like that, on the tray, so that it can cool. It can cool down. So here the Githeri is well cooked, and here the samosa paste is cooling down. Yeah, so it cools faster there. Here we have our dough for the samosa pockets. We are going to begin making the pockets right now. We are going to divide those. We are going to divide the dough into 8 equal pieces. roll the pieces into some balls. After that, we are going to roll them into a circle. Now we are going to roll the first 4 circles first, and then the next 4 circles. So 4 circles first, and then the next 4. So with the first 4, let me show you when you get to that step. Be sure to flour your dough so that it's easier to roll. This is the third one, so that it's easier to roll into a circle. Yeah, like that. So 1, 2, 3. This is the third one, and then the fourth one. So once we get to the fourth one, you are going to oil the first circle, and then add flour on top of it. Okay, that is coming momentarily. Yeah. So step 1 is that you're going to oil it all over like that. This is the first one. Oil it like that, and then flour it like that. Flour it all over very well, and then cover it with the second one. Repeat this procedure with the second and the third. Yeah, oil it like that and cover it with the flour like that. Yeah, and then we add that is the third one, and then in the third one as well, we are going to oil it all the entire top surface like that, and then flour it like that. Flour every corner like that. And then with the fourth one, we are going to cover it like that, but we are not going to add either flour or oil onto it. Instead, we are going to roll all these pieces into one, heat up the pan, and separate them one by one. After heating up the pan, here we are going to heat them in the pan. We are not going to heat them to achieve a chapati status, but the heat is just to help us separate the circles. Yeah, just use low heat. That side, turn it to the bottom side. Just use low heat, and then we are going to separate the pieces. These are what we are going to use to help us make the pockets. So be sure to use very little heat so that you do not burn them to chapati status. So the 4 circles, we are going to divide those ones into quarters, and we are going to use those quarters to make the samosas. And then we are going to repeat that procedure with the remaining 4 pieces as well. So rolling that, the bottom one. This is number 2. Number 3. Number 4. We oil that one, and then we flour it everywhere, flour it very well everywhere. Put the second one, oil it, flour it. Oil the first, the second, and the third. This is the third. We are oiling it and flouring it, and then we cover with the fourth one. Yeah, we roll that into one huge circle, After rolling that into one huge circle, we heat it up just to separate the pieces. And then after heating it up a little, separate the pieces. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Then this ones, we are gonna use those ones for the samosa pocket. Now to seal the samosa pockets, we are going to create a paste using some wheat flour and some little water. Just make sure that the paste is not too thick and it's also not too watery. Yeah, to do that, now we go to the sealing step. We are going to seal samosas like that. I have another video on this channel where I show step by step how to cook samosas. You can also watch that one as well. And then after covering that like that, we use the paste to seal it like that. I'm gonna show you a second one. So the triangle facing down, you bring that together like that. And then also bring the other side like that. Make sure to seal it completely. And then you add the piece and potatoes like that. This was very delicious, guys. And then you do that and cover it like that. Repeat this with all the samosa pockets, and then we now fry them. Yee-hoo! Heat up oil on medium heat and then fry the samosa pieces like that. Fry them until the samosa pieces are golden brown on both sides. Make sure that your oil is hot enough, not too hot to scorch the samosas and not a little bit hot, just medium hot. And then fry the samosas until they are golden brown on both sides. Yeah, fry that very well. Be sure not to crowd your pan so that each and every samosa can get enough space to get deep fried. After they are golden brown on both sides, remove them from the oil. Remove them from the oil one by one and finish deep frying the rest one by one. Yeah, so continue deep frying them very well. So here they are, all the foods, they are well done. This was my breakfast for a whole week. I have Githeri there, the cassava, the nduma, and the samosa. I tasted the samosa. Look, this is how it looks on the inside. It was very, very delicious, guys. So I'm gonna have a taste of each and every meal, but this is for breakfast. So I'm just going to taste a little to see how each and every one came out. But this is for my breakfast for the whole week. Yeah, this is for my breakfast for the whole week. Then add onto the cassava, the nduma, we add some of the samosas.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my songs on my Qlaryce music channel. See you soon.